Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video, left-wing violence. A couple years back I did a video called right-wing violence where I gave my opinion about what encompasses aspects of right-wing violence. I did that video back then because it was around that time when a lot of this stuff was going on in 2020, especially the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. This topic of right-wing violence kept coming up. And it got, we all know January 6th got blown out of proportion when a lot of what was going on in 2020 with all the riots and practical what's still going on now has really gone without much notice, or at least it's being noticed now. But there is a lot of dishonesty going on in the news about what contributes to those violent acts, and really those are aspects of left wing violence. And this again, this is just my opinion about what left wing violence is. But there's a few things that you can help you. Just a few things that I noticed that can help identify what left wing violence is. For one, a lot of it's mob violence. When you have like a mob of people rushing in a store and stealing merchandise in mass, that's left wing violence. It's like group dynamics. Taking advantage, bum rushing an area, taking advantage of the lack of security. That's left-wing violence. As I did in my old video, I mentioned that right-wing violence tends to encompass protecting yourself, protecting property, protecting others, but left-wing violence is more taking advantage of a situation for personal gain. And having a group of people mob up into a store, like a drugstore or department store, and just start stealing things. Really, what's the motivation behind that? It's really just, it's all about the self. It's all about greed. It's all about envy, things like that. And so that that's pretty much what makes up a lot of what goes on in these violent encounters, where where it's like a mob of people coming in and stealing a bunch of stuff out of the store. Another aspect of left-wing violence is when people try to figure out why is this happening, why is this crime happening. People, and they want to attribute the violence to economic reasons. The economy is bad. People are stealing bread and water to feed their families, stuff, garbage like that. Really, it's because it's fun. To certain dregs of society, committing violent acts is fun. It's interesting. People get a kick out of it. They do it because they got nothing better else to do. But then to just see the reaction on a person's face when they instill fear in them, it's fun. It's entertainment. You think about the people who are just going around destroying cars. Like people who are like the carjackings that go on in certain cities. Like when the car is stolen, but it's not being sent to a chop shop, a fence for parts. No, it's being stolen, crashed, get out, steal another car, crash, steal another car, crash. And basically, it's like GTA in real life. It's people are doing these things for fun. You guys remember the Knockout game? That was for fun. A lot of the harassment that goes on with people who are elderly, children, things like that. It's fun. It's fun to these people. They get pleasure out of causing terror, making a situation uneasy for people. They enjoy it. They enjoy the chaos. Homeboy over at Black Conservatives Perspective, he calls them agents of chaos, and it's an excellent example. Shout out to him. He has a great channel. He talks a lot about these young scholars who go around committing these acts of one terror and violence. But a lot of it seems to fall in line with left-wing ideology. Another thing you can identify, the other thing I noticed in the news is when they don't say the identity of the perpetrator, unless the perpetrator is a white male. They won't say the identity of the perpetrator. You can be sure that they keep the identity hidden, or they get these unnecessary vague descriptions of the car, or describe what they ask a witness what the person looked like, and they just kind of describe the outfit, but they don't really describe what the person actually physically looked like. And you can tell there was some left wing violence going on in that situation. And typically, people are afraid of saying what the person looked like because the fear of getting canceled, the fear of harassment from people who may know who they are, or saying, "Oh, what you doing?" Telling them, trying to make things easy for the cops, trying to hurt our people, things like that. Yeah, it was left wing violence. There's a bunch of BS behind behind what they were doing, and you have plenty of people who are prepared to cover for people like that, for criminals who are just doing nothing but terrorizing the community. And then if anything, they typically are backed by either liberals or, in rare cases, uh, spineless conservatives who don't actually make any meaningful change, or take the appropriate action to stop these violent acts. Oh, sure, they'll do all they can to make sure that someone can't defend themselves, appropriately. They make sure that someone can't get the help they need, in the time of crisis. But they're so silent when it comes to people when it comes to identifying those who are actually committing the violence that goes on across the country. Uh, a lot of it, I think, has to do with this idea of radical change. Of these, and I understand. Like I said, sometimes it's not that deep. A lot of it is it's just fun, but a lot of it has come down to destabilizing things. Why would why would prosecutors let off the hook someone who has a lengthy violent criminal history, just let them out again, let them out no bail, to where they offend again, get caught, let them out with no bail, offend again, then they do something more egregious where they may rape someone, or they may murder somebody, or seriously injure somebody from from carjacking, or from some type of theft, or some type of attack. Why let these people out? Why let them out? Why let them in society if they're dangerous? Again, it's facilitating left wing violence. Uh, that can carry over to the whole different conversation, but that's just a lot of things that's been going on for the past couple of years. Also, you look at the situation at the border, and all the criminals that are coming across that were being allowed to come across. I say Texas and Florida had great ideas with shipping them to places that they want a virtual signal. They want to take in, they want to take in migrants, and then take resources from the people who live in those cities to care for these migrants, and then when these migrants cause chaos and acts of violence, like what we saw in New York City, they let them go. Only to let them out when a court date was supposed to reappear. But they catch him out in Arizona, like the cops that got jumped. There was those situations where I think apparently an illegal migrant had a gun as a teenager and start shooting wildly. Like, why is it happening? It's facilitation of left wing violence. There are people, individuals and groups that want to see what we have crumble, so they can come back to where it's all falling apart and build it back up. Renormalization to whatever it is they have, whatever idea they have as being the ideal society. But it doesn't have to be that way. I know a lot of people are worried about how we stop this stuff, how we respond. Well, before we get into the talk about hardware and things like that, it really just starts with just telling the truth. Be honest. Tell the truth of what you see. Talk openly about the things that you experience. Don't let anybody gaslight you and say that what you're experiencing is not what's really going on, because they're part of it. They're the people who want to actually hide what's going on to be politically correct. They're facilitating left wing violence. You don't have to play into the game. Be honest about what you see. Be honest about the situation. Be honest about who are committing these crimes, and that's how you're able to get the ball rolling to get things changed. Because trust and believe, these essentially cultural Marxists, they're gonna do everything they can to facilitate whatever plans that they have. And one of the things that they love doing is destabilizing what is already established. You see it. You see it happening in schools. You see it happening in churches. You see it happening in just in the media. You see it happening on college campuses. You see it happening in many businesses. Now, a lot of this is changing. I think us on the right have the potential to take advantage of the situation to actually get things back on track, get things back in the back to where things are working in the proper order and fashion. But it requires courage, and it does take courage to be honest about what's really going on, about who's who or what entities are behind these these violent actions, behind these things, are just throwing everything into confusion. But those are my thoughts. Please tell me what you think. Do you agree with what I said? Disagree? Please share your thoughts. Leave a like in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help out the channel, go to my YouTube homepage. You look for the PayPal link and the Cash App link. All donation amounts are appreciated. You don't like my video? Hey, let your voice be heard. Leave a comment in the comment section. Go ahead and bitch and gripe and moan about what I said. But that's my video. Left-wing violence. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care. Be safe. Stay strapped. And God bless.